Hi, everyone. I'm here with Pepperdine Assistant Sports Law and Sport Media Professor Alicia Jessop. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. So when did you first discover your passion for sports, would you say?
When I was a child, so I grew up with a father who really liked sports, and through him, I learned a lot about basketball, football, baseball, and for the two of us, it was a way that we bonded. So I think sports been part of my life since I was probably 7 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what was your first sporting event like that you went to?
Yeah, that's a great question because I don't really remember.
Or maybe one that was memorable for you?
My family and I, we went to a lot of Colorado Rockies games. When I was a kid, I would often have my birthday party at Rockies games, so that was something that stood out. We went to a lot of Nuggets games. I'm from Denver, so University of Denver hockey games. And there's never like that big sporting event that really stood out to the rest, I would say, until my first Denver Broncos game, just because of the atmosphere and the livelihood of that setting.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Let's see what else. When have you felt the greatest sense of accomplishment in your life, and what was this accomplishment?
Yeah, I think it's something that I'm actually doing right now. So right now I'm consulting for a startup football league called the Alliance of American Football. And for me, it's really my career going full circle. So I started in the sport industry as a journalist, writing for Forbes, and I used that career to break into academia, where I'm a full-time professor now at Pepperdine. And in my role as a professor, I realize what I really care about is athlete welfare and well-being. And so right now I'm being given an opportunity to build a first of its kind career and education program for football players. And so it's cool seeing everything come full circle and being able to help people.
Yeah, absolutely. Who has been the most interesting athlete or person that you've interviewed?
Oh, wow. I've been very blessed in terms of the people I've gotten to interview. I've interviewed Steph Curry, LeBron James. I spent 4 years as a reporter in the Miami Heat locker room when the Heat went to back-to-back NBA finals. So being there at least 41 games a season, you basically talk to every NBA player. But I think my favorite interviews are the ones with a deeper story or a deeper meaning. And in that regard, I interviewed a man named Rayford Johnson. He was actually my first interview when I became a writer. He won the 1968 gold medal for decathlon in the Olympics, and he grew up in a segregated Texas, moved to California, competed at UCLA under John Wooden, knew Jackie Robinson. He was friends with the Kennedys. He was actually the man who wrestled away the gun from RFK's assassin. And just having that living history in front of me and being able to ask him any question I wanted to was such a gift. And because of my writing career, I've had opportunities like that tenfold where people, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, people who I otherwise wouldn't come into contact with, I get exclusive access to ask whatever I think is important, which is really empowering.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was a great answer. Thank you. So I know you run the sports law website, and you founded this website called rulingsports.com. What gave you the idea to start this up?
Yeah, it's a great question. Really just wanting an opportunity in the sport industry. The sport industry is so cutthroat, and a lot of it is about who you know. And I graduated law school at the start of the economic recession. So there weren't a lot of jobs in the sport industry available, but I knew I wanted to be in it. So I had to create my own opportunity. A blog costs $25 a year to host on the website. It's free for me to create content, and I realized that the platform would give me an opportunity to meet people that I wanted to meet. So it was actually for Ruling Sports that I interviewed the man I just mentioned, Rayford Johnson. I wasn't even a credentialed journalist or anybody with a name, but here's this man with this wealth of experience, knowledge, and history that's willing to speak to me simply because I have a blog. And so that's really the reason why I created it, is I wanted to get my foot in the door. I wanted to give people a reason to talk to me, and I wanted to learn about the industry. And so it did all those three things, and it opened up every other door that I've walked into since.
Right. Yeah. And so you've had a career in the sports industry and also with law. Do you have a favorite, or do you have something that sticks out to you most?
Sports is so broad, and that's what I love about it. I'm super passionate about this industry. I love the business side of it. I love the people side of it. So I just feel lucky any day that I get to wake up and be part of it, whether it's teaching students, sharing knowledge, doing research, or being a member of the media and conducting interviews. So I think it all comes together, and I think because I have my hand in a lot of pots, it makes me a better professor, it makes me a better writer, it makes me a better researcher.
Yeah, absolutely. And then kind of a few fun questions. So if you had 3 items to take with you on an island, what would those items be?
Ooh,
Just a very random one.
Okay, so I'm on an island, so I probably need sunscreen. So I'm going to bring sunscreen. Probably a fishing pole so I can get food, and something to start a fire with. Well, I guess there'd be sticks on the island, so maybe I don't need that. I could be resourceful. My iPhone. I'm going to bring my iPhone for sure.
There you go. Yeah. And then maybe some deeper questions. What is an example of something that makes you cry?
Yeah, I think just seeing injustice in this world. I probably cry a lot more than people think. Because of my role as a professor, students really confide in me, and I think a lot of students have much harder lives than people recognize. And then in this new role where I'm building a career and education program for 400 football players, I get to go behind the veil, if you will, of professional sports and realize the human nature of the people who take the field and engage in really almost brutal activity. That these are men who have overcome huge sociological hurdles to get to where they are. They're men who have escaped poverty, homelessness, addiction within their families. And so it just makes me cry sometimes thinking about the injustices in this world.
And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, what are some things that make you really happy?
Yeah, I'm very lucky that I have a great set of friends and a great set of family members. And so anytime I get to spend quality time with them, that's probably when I'm my happiest. Realizing that I'm truly waking up every single day doing what I want to do and that I get paid to do what I love makes me incredibly happy. I don't take any of this for granted because I really think I lucked into a lot of the situations that I'm in. When the Denver Broncos win makes me happy. I don't know how often that's going to happen, but just a good sporting event or a good night out with friends. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, I think those are all the questions I have for you. So thank you for being with us, and thank you for taking the time to let me interview you.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.